In the deepest raid, the party faced the abyssal terror. Its jaws could crush steel. They were breaking.
Can't let them fall. Just one more potion. I have to keep them alive.
But the beast was too strong. Defenses crumbled. The party leader turned, eyes wild with fear.
We can't hold it. That useless alchemist. He's dead weight. Get him forward.
A hard shove from behind. Rin stumbled, arms flailing, straight into the monster's gaping maw.
They pushed me. After everything, they called me dead weight.
Fangs clamped shut. His body broke. Darkness swallowed his screams. But in his pocket, a fractured experimental stone drank in his final hatred. The runes ignited, time splintered. The regression stone hurled his consciousness backward. 5 years unwound in a heartbeat. The guild that betrayed a poisoner never saw the reckoning brewing within their own walls.
This isn't the abyss. Where am I?
Gasping, he bolted upright, hands flying to his chest. No wound, no blood, only the phantom ache of teeth, the familiar clutter of his lab, the old calendar on the wall. It was impossible. 5 years had rewound.
The regression stone. It actually worked. I am back before the raid.
For one heartbeat, relief. Then the betrayal crashed back. Voss's sneer, the shove, the fangs tearing through him.
Voss. He called me dead weight. They all did.
Their laughter from the raid echoed now, a poison more bitter than any he had ever brewed.
I gave them everything. Every potion, every sleepless night, and they threw me away.
He did not reach for the healing drafts on the shelf. His hands stilled, then clenched into fists. No more.
No more healing. This time, I'll become a ghost, and they'll never see me coming.
That same night, in the quiet of his lab, Rin brewed a toxin like no other, colorless, odorless. Its only symptom, a creeping, insidious exhaustion.
A few drops in the water barrels, and the entire guild will wake up feeling like they never slept.
He moved through the dark corridors to the cellar. Rows of water barrels sat untouched, the guild's lifeline unguarded. One by one, he tipped the vial into each barrel. The clear liquid vanished without a trace into the dark water.
No taste, no scent, just a fatigue that builds day by day. By the time they notice, it'll be too late.
Morning came. In the dining hall, guild members filled their mugs from the tainted barrels, complaining of the early hour. By midday, a strange lethargy descended. Warriors slumped at their posts, eyelids heavy, movements sluggish. One fighter blamed a change in weather. Another muttered about a bug going around. None looked at the water.
They don't suspect a thing. Perfect. The first step is always the quietest.
The poison was in their veins now. Rin watched the first wave of exhaustion spread like a shadow across the guild. Guild Master Theron stood before the window, watching his fighters stumble through drills. This was no ordinary fatigue.
I've seen enough. Send for Vane. If anyone can find the cause, it's her.
Within the hour, Investigator Vane arrived, sharp-eyed and already taking notes.
I've interviewed everyone who handled food and water, except you, Rin. You are the alchemist.
I only manage potions for battle. I don't go near the kitchens.
Still, you'd notice if something were off. Any strange smells? Unusual residues?
She's sharper than the others. I need to be careful. One wrong word and she'll pounce.
Rin answered smoothly, playing the unassuming support, but Vane's pen paused. She'd heard a tremor beneath the calm.
He's hiding something, I'm sure of it. But I need proof.
The investigation tightened. Rin felt her eyes on him every time he left his lab. That night, Rin brewed a new venom, one that absorbed through skin. It would slowly paralyze the muscles.
Coat the armor polish with this, and every warrior's strength will fail, exactly when they need it most.
He slipped into the guild armory. Racks of polished steel gleamed under the dim torchlight. waiting. He dusted the fine powder onto the maintenance rags and the armor's surfaces, leaving no visible trace. The next morning, during a sparring match, a fighter's arm went limp. He collapsed, his sword clattering to the ground. His friends rushed to help, but he couldn't rise. A deep numbness spread through his limbs. Vane arrived, notebook open. She knelt beside the fallen warrior, already piecing clues together.
He was in top form yesterday. Did he use any special gear? What did he handle?
She traced the symptoms back to the armor polish, finding a suspicious residue on the rags.
First the water, now the armor. This is deliberate. Someone inside is waging a silent war.
In his lab, Rin selected a particular toxin, one that would mimic a wasting fever, slow and agonizing.
This one's for Voss, the leader who threw me to the beast. He'll suffer like I did.
Under cover of dusk, Rin slipped into Voss's quarters. A half-empty wine bottle sat on the nightstand, a single drop from the vial into the dark wine. It vanished without a ripple. An hour later, Voss collapsed in the hallway, his body racked with seizures. The infirmary was summoned.
I came as soon as I heard. Is there anything I can do? Look at him now, the mighty Voss, reduced to this. Not so dead weight. Now, are you?
Vane watched the scene from the doorway. Her gaze lingered on Rin's carefully composed grief.
You and Voss were close, weren't you? Funny how the people around you keep falling ill.
He's my leader. Of course I am worried, but I am an alchemist, not a fighter. Maybe I am just unlucky to be near the trouble.
Vane pinned her notes to the board. Every victim, every symptom, all leading to one conclusion: an alchemist.
These toxins require rare reagents. Only someone with access and skill could have made them.
She found Rin in his lab, surrounded by bubbling flasks. Her voice cut through the quiet.
You purchased nightshade extract and powdered iron vine last week. Explain.
She traced the purchase. Stay calm. A wrong answer, and it's over. I was experimenting with a new stamina potion. Those are standard reagents for trial formulas.
Stamina potions? The Academy doesn't approve those without oversight. And these quantities are excessive for tests.
Rin's fingers twitched toward a hidden pocket. He forced them still, schooling his expression.
She's piecing it together, but she still needs proof. I just need to buy time.
After he left, Vane slipped into the corridor shadows. She'd watch every move now.
Orin, the pompous fool. He'll make an excellent scapegoat.
That night, with Vane watching the corridors, Rin used a forgotten servant's passage to reach Orin's lab. He left a vial of nightshade residue among the supplies. Before dawn, a folded paper appeared under Vane's door. Inside, 3 words: search Orin's lab. Vane read it twice. She grabbed 2 guards and stormed Orin's workspace, finding the vial exactly where the note promised.
What is the meaning of this? I demand an explanation.
This vial contains the same toxin used on Voss. It was in your lab.
That isn't mine. Someone planted it. You have to believe me.
Save your lies for the Guildmaster. You are under arrest.
The noose tightens around the wrong neck, just as planned.
Orin was dragged away, still screaming his innocence. Vane stared at the lab, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. With Orin in chains, the Guild's suspicion dimmed. Rin retreated to the storage room to prepare the real poison.
2 poisons. One to freeze their muscles, another to stop their hearts. The perfect feast.
He cooked the paralytic into a clear, tasteless gel. The lethal toxin he powdered fine as dust. But first, he had to ensure no antidote could save them. The Guild's stockpile sat unguarded in a back shelf.
One spilled, corrosive, and these vials become useless. No one will be cured tonight.
The acid hissed. Glass shattered. Rows of precious antidotes soaked into the floorboards, ruined beyond recovery. A noise. A kitchen servant, searching for a forgotten ladle, stumbled into the dark storage room.
Who's there? I thought everyone was at the evening meal.
He saw me. If he mentions this, Vane will connect the pieces. I can't let him leave. Just checking ingredients for tomorrow's meal. Head chef's orders. You startled me. That servant saw my face. One whisper to Vane, and the frame crumbles.
Later, in the kitchen's chaos, he found a bowl of stew set aside for the late shift staff. A pinch of the lethal powder dissolved instantly. The stew's steam carried no telltale scent. The servant ate alone in the pantry. Midway, his spoon clattered. He spoon-clattered. He slumped forward, eyes wide. Rin found the body and raised an alarm. His voice cracked with feigned horror. Vane pushed through the gathering crowd. Her eyes swept the scene, cataloging every detail.
Another healthy soul, dead with no warning. And you are the first to find him. Rin.
Her suspicion is a blade at my throat. But there's no evidence. Only coincidence. Only coincidence.
This servant knew something. I can feel it. The noose on my board is tightening, but someone keeps cutting the rope.
She added the servant's name to the board, linking it to the others. The killer was still here. Vane stared at her evidence board, the threads crossing. Then the timeline hit her.
Orin was already in chains when the servant died. That anonymous tip, it was a decoy. Drop the act. Rin, I know it's you. Every poison leads back to your lab.
And what proof do you have, investigator? Orin is the saboteur. The case is closed.
The servant saw you. Then he died. The armor polish, Voss's wine, only you had access to all three.
She's pieced it together, but she still can't prove anything. I just need to stay calm, circumstantial. You'd need hard evidence to convince Theron, and you have none.
I'll get it. And when I do, you'll face justice. Every single victim will have their voice.
The feast must be tonight. No more waiting. Tonight, they all pay.
The game of cat and mouse was over. Now, it was a race to the end. Rin slipped into the sweltering kitchen amid the dinner rush, an apron already tied.
Perfect chaos. No one will notice an extra pair of hands.
He drifted to the main cauldron, where the head chef was shouting orders. A ladle hit his hand.
The paralytic gel will dissolve as it chills. By the first course, they'll be frozen.
Next, the wine casks. He poured a thimble of clear toxin into each barrel before they were sealed.
The lethal dose. One sip, and the heart forgets to beat.
A sous chef blocked his path, voice sharp. You are not on the kitchen roster. Who let you in?
Guild Master Theron's orders. I am to ensure no further. Incidents before the toast.
The sous chef grunted. Fine, but don't touch anything else. We're behind schedule. The final platters were arranged. The wine was poured. Rin slipped out, the banquet hall gleaming under chandeliers, the grand hall filled with chattering guild members, the scent of roasted meat and wine masking the poison's whisper.
To the guild, to our unbreakable strength.
Rin sat at the lower table, hands folded, his plate empty. A servant offered wine. He declined with a faint shake.
Not eating or drinking. This feast is meant to celebrate our survival.
She's hanging on my every move. One wrong gesture, and she'll pounce. Alchemical work requires clean blood. I am on a cleansing regimen to sharpen my mind.
A convenient excuse, but I can't force the truth from his lips without solid evidence.
Across the hall, a burly fighter roared with laughter and drained his goblet in one gulp. Theron raised his own glass, the wine dark as blood, and drank deeply.
It's already in their veins. Now, all I need is patience. Their strength will crack like old bone.
The burly fighter's laughter died mid-sound. His jaw locked, eyes bulging. Then he toppled forward into the table. A woman screamed. Another guest slumped sideways, frozen mid-gesture. Plates crashed as limbs locked rigid. At the head table, Theron grabbed his throat, the guildmaster's face purpling as he fought for breath.
The wine, the food. It was all tainted. Rin, I have to.
Vane's legs gave way, her notebook clattering across the stone. She could only stare as Rin rose slowly.
Just as planned. The mighty guild, felled by a ghost. No swords, no fireballs, only silence.
Screams mixed with wet choking. Warriors who had slain beasts now clawed at their own armor, muscles betraying them. Rin walked calmly through the fallen. His boots left no prints in the spilled wine as he approached the head table. Theron's eyes, frozen wide, met Rin's. The guildmaster tried to speak, but only a gurgle escaped. In Theron's eyes, a reflection of the man who had been nothing but a tool to them, now holding all the power.
Do you know what happens 5 years from now, Theron? Your precious guild pushes me into a monster's maw.
Theron's eyes widened, the only movement left to him. A gurgle of denial died in his throat.
They called me dead weight. They laughed while I screamed.
Rin's voice was calm, each word a drop of acid.
A cracked stone ate my hatred and sent me back. So I prepared a different kind of potion.
He reached for the heavy signet ring on the guildmaster's rigid finger. The ring slid off with a faint click. Theron's breath hitched as if losing a limb.
This ring, it's the symbol of everything they valued over my life.
Rin held it up, letting the firelight catch the blood-red gem.
Now it's just a trophy. Their power is mine.
Rin's footsteps halted beside a familiar scarred face, Voss, the team leader who had thrown him to the beast.
Dead weight. That was your word, Voss. How does the dead weight feel now?
Voss's lips trembled, a choked rasp escaping. His fingers twitched uselessly against the stone.
The same helplessness I felt when the fangs closed. Let him taste it.
Rin turned away from Voss and faced the silent hall, his voice cutting through the gasps.
None of you are innocent. You all saw how I was treated. You all stayed silent. In another time, you'd have cheered as Voss threw me to the monster. Every one of you is complicit.
The hall was a graveyard of living statues. No one could argue. No one could beg.
This is the consequence of your silence. Remember it for however long you have left. Is this what justice feels like? Empty, but it's done.
The silence was absolute, broken only by the faint crackle of dying hearth fires. Rin stood alone among the living statues. He stared at the signet ring in his palm. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he let it clatter onto the stone floor. His gaze drifted to Vane, the investigator still conscious, her eyes burning through the paralysis.
You, monster.
A monster? Perhaps I am, but they made me. They chose to discard me first.
From his pocket, he drew the empty vial that had held the fatal dose. He stared at it, a hollow mirror.
All of this, and I feel nothing. No joy, no relief, only emptiness.
He pocketed the vial and stepped over the bodies, his path leading toward the great oaken doors.
Should I turn back? Take one last look at what I've destroyed. The past is dead. So am I. Let the living clean up the mess.
The great oaken doors groaned open, and the chill of the night air rushed in to greet the dead. Rin stepped across the threshold, leaving the stench of poisoned wine and betrayal behind. Behind him, the guildmaster's ring lay abandoned on the stone, a dull glint in the firelight.
He can't just walk away. There must be justice, but there's no one left to deliver it.
The feast hall was a tomb of the living, and the only sound was the soft crackle of embers. Outside, the moonlight cast long shadows of a single figure crossing the empty courtyard.
I thought revenge would fill the void, but it's just a different kind of emptiness.
He looked at the empty vial once more, the last evidence of his meticulous work. With a flick of his wrist, he let it shatter on the cobblestones, a final, silent punctuation. The poisoner walked on, his steps echoing in the silence, a ghost leaving only corpses. Vane fought the paralysis, every muscle screaming. She would not die here. She would hunt him to the ends of the earth.
I will find you, Rin. Even if it takes my last breath, your reckoning will come.
But in the empty courtyard, there was only the whisper of the wind and the distant scent of smoke. Rin's silhouette grew smaller, swallowed by the shadows of the city's outskirts.
No destination, no plan. Just the hollow echo of a purpose fulfilled. What is left for a ghost? Nothing. Only drifting.
The shattered vial lay where he had left it, its poison spent, its work complete. The guild hall stood dark, a mausoleum for the living dead who would never rise again.
I will rise. I will not let him win. Justice is not dead. It's only sleeping.
And so the poisoner vanished into the night, leaving behind only silence and the faintest trace of smoke. Inside the silent hall, a finger twitched on the cold stone. Vane's will refused to surrender to the poison. The guild master's ring lay forgotten, a meaningless trinket among the fallen. No one would claim it. Her body was a prison, but her mind raged, cataloging evidence, etching a vow into the oppressive darkness. In another life, this hall echoed with laughter. Now it was a silent tomb for that memory. Rin did not look back. The guild was fading into a nightmare he could finally wake from and cast aside.
But a nightmare that leaves no dream behind. Only a long, cold morning stretching into emptiness.
The first light of dawn touched the horizon, but for the guild, the sun would never rise again. He walked toward the light, a ghost dissolving into the new day, leaving no trace on the cobblestones. Where the vial shattered, the cobblestones remembered only the cold, a meaningless glitter.
Maybe this is what peace feels like. An absence of pain and hope. Just nothing.
The first light of dawn crept over the guild's spires, but it brought no warmth to the cold stone.
Move. Just move. I will not die on this floor like carrion, forgotten and unavenged.
Her fingers twitched again, a tiny rebellion against the poison's paralyzing grip. Rin did not look back. The city gates loomed ahead, indifferent to his passing. He had become what they called him, dead weight. Only now, the weight was theirs to bear.
No more alchemist. No more ghost. Just a shadow fading into the morning.
Behind him, the guild hall stood silent, a monument to a lie that had consumed itself. The shattered vial gleamed one last time before a stray breeze scattered its dust, and so the reckoning ended, not with a bang, but with the quiet closing of a distant gate. The poisoner was gone. But the poison of his memory would linger long after the corpses had rotted. The sun rose fully, spilling pale gold over the stained glass windows, illuminating the frozen faces within.
One day I will stand again. One day I will find you.
The man who had been dead weight stepped into a future without witnesses, his footprints already fading. The shattered vial remained, a tiny monument to a grief so vast it consumed a world. Inside, a single breath escaped a throat that refused to yield. Vane's arm twitched, then slowly, painfully bent. A monument of broken vows stood behind her, its halls echoing with the silence of the betrayed. The city gates swallowed him whole, and the road beyond held no answers. Only the endless gray of a dawn without purpose. And for a fleeting moment, the ghost of an alchemist looked back, seeing not a home, but a grave. Then the light took him, and the world moved on, indifferent to the poison that had seeped through its veins. The guild that betrayed a poisoner never saw the reckoning brewing within their own walls.